Hey folks, good to see you again and happy Saturday. I'm here at Boeing Field as I usually am in my 172, which I usually am, and we're going to be flying out west to Hoquiam. And it's an interesting day. If you take a look at my tablet here, I've got the weather for northwest. Looking here at to the east is IFR conditions, snow, we have mountain obscuration, and then to the west, which is where I'm going, you've got some light rain, winds from the west, which means it's going to be pushing or pulling, however you want to say it, the offshore weather onto the land over the next few hours. Now that said, if we go back and we take a look at Northwest 2100 Zulu, you can see that obscuration leaves. You can see that pushing force that's happening is knocking out the obscuration, but it starts to get a little bit more interesting rain-wise. Precipitation is coming in, so does it make sense to go to Hoquiam? It might not. Here's our radar picture that I want you to see. Right now we don't have a whole lot of precipitation that the radar is picking up, but if we go back to our imagery, Prague charts, 12 hours. That's Zulu, Sunday, May 18th says 2400 minus 7 is 1400, 2 p.m. today. Get a load of that, right? What's driving that? Low pressure off of the coast that's pushing nasty weather at us. Let's go ahead and back up 6 hours to where we are, 18 Zulu Saturday, which is roughly right about now, actually. So you can see it's spotty. There's no thunderstorms. It's the lighter precipitation. But again, I'm going to go ahead and just shove it 6 hours forward. And oh my God, what is that? So the flight to Hoquiam, from where we are right now, is expected to take 50 minutes, 50 minutes. We're expected to get a 16-knot headwind. That would make sense. Wind's coming from the west. We're going west. So it's going to slow us down a little bit. We should be able to make the 77 nautical miles distance in 50 minutes. We are essentially racing the weather out to Hoquiam, and then we're going to come on back. Is this a smart move? No. Don't do this in your real aircraft unless you've got a way better aircraft and way more flight time than I do. But this is one of the things that we do sims for, is to learn safely in a safe environment. We might do things out here that we're a little less comfortable doing in the real world. So we are going to make this flight to Hoquiam. We're going to go via the west route. It's going to be KPWT, which is Bremerton. Then we're going to fly to Shelton, SHN, and then we're going to fly to Hoquiam, KHQM, which is the longest leg. We're going to try to stay. We're going west, so that's going to be even plus 500. I would love to stay at 4,500 if Cloud Decks let us do that. My guess is they won't. We're probably going to be coming down closer to... we're probably coming down closer to 2,500, and we may need to go a little higher than the VFR standards just to get clearance off the ground. Again, does this seem smart to you? No, don't do this in the real world. This is not a flight you should be making, but I'm going to go ahead and make it today because Hoquiam is one of the destinations that I want to do in my real cross countries when the weather gets a little bit better. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and click on flights, go to briefing, go back. Nav log. There you go. Look at that. Look at all that. Look at all that wild mess there. We're going to follow that on our way. I'll go ahead and plug in all this stuff in our GPS. We'll use every available resource. And I'll go ahead and get flight following out to Hoquiam as well because we've got Pilot Edge that we'll go ahead and click into. So let me go ahead and turn it on performance mode here. And let's get started. Excited to be with you today. So it's actually not that bad of a day out in Seattle. There's a little bit of blue sky, and it'd be a great time to be out walking, maybe not flying. You and I just took a look at the weather out there, and it portends some ugly stuff. So, all right. So let's start with weight and balance. Everybody knows this. This is the weight and balance sheet. I'm flying solo today, so that's me at my 195 pounds and apparently a redhead. How much fuel do we need? Well, Galvin regs say that if we're doing an XC, full fuel. Boom, filled up the tanks. We're done there. I'm going to carry 20 pounds of bags in the back. That's my flight bag plus, I don't know, golf clubs. Anyway, let's take a look at weight and balance. We're within gross weight. We're looking good. And as we burn fuel, so I'll go ahead and say 2.4, you can see it goes down, but it doesn't go off the CG axis. So that feels good to me. I think we're awesome, and I don't think we're going to be taking anybody else along, so we'll go ahead and apply that fuel, and then boom, we are fueled up. Pre-flight. I'm going to press the button marked cold and dark. Boom. We are cold, we are dark. Open that window. And let's see, pitot 2 cover, remove. Oh yeah, that's right, all of our RBF stuff. We'll go ahead and remove that. And we're going to remove the chocks, the tie downs. What's next? Required docks, hobs, aboard and check. Of course, we would take a look at the hobs meter. That would actually be in the avionics when we turn it on. Control wheel lock remove. Yes, indeed. Bye-bye control wheel lock. Magneto's off. Avionics switch is off. Confirmed. Yep. Master switch on. And you don't see anything because the avionics is turned way down, so we're going to go ahead and turn that up. Going to let this system come online real quick, and we... Ding, ding. All right. It's online. PFD check on. Yes. Fuel quantity check. It's full. Oil press, low vac annunciator, low vacuum on. Oil press is blinking. Yep. Avionics bus 1 on. Listening for the fan. Yep. Off. Avionics bus 2. Listen for the fan. Yes. Alternate static source. On. Check. Off. It should make things wiggle. It doesn't in this simulator. Don't know why. Flaps extend full down. 1, 2, 3. Flaps are responding. Left. Right. Indicator is all the way down. Good flaps. Lights, pitot heat on, check off. Beacon, landing, taxi, nav, and strobe. Let's go out there and take a look around the aircraft. Lights, good. Red, green, taxi, landing, red flashing beacon, and a white tail light. Yep, we're good. Rock and roll, we'll turn those off except for the beacon. And elevator trim to the takeoff position. And it is. And master switch off. Alright, what we would do now is we would go check the empennage, tail tie down, control surfaces, trim tab, antennas, flap and aileron, wing tie down, main, wheel, tire, and brake, fuel tank sump, fuel quantity, fuel filler cap, fuel strainer, fuel reservoir, oil, alternator belt, engine cooling, air inlets, prop and spinner, air filter, nose wheel strut and tire, static source, fuel tank sump, fuel quantity, fuel filler cap, pitot tube, stall warning opening, fuel tank vent opening, wing tie down, flap and aileron, main wheel, tire and brake, parking brake, tow bar, and baggage door. We did all that. Pre-flight complete. Switch it over to the other side. B4 starting engine, pre-flight complete. It is. Passenger briefing complete. Well, I'm not carrying any passengers, and I'm not going to do a briefing today. And if I did, it would be the safety C briefing that you all know. Seat belts. Where's the air? Fire extinguisher under the co-pilot's seat. E for exits, T for talking, Y for your questions, and C for change of control. All right. Parking brake set. Yeah. Go ahead and just step on the brakes there. Seats and seat belts closed and locked. I feel like I should get seat belts for this seat, don't you think? Alright, circuit breakers check in. Looks good. Electrical equipment off. It is. Avionics power switch off. It is. Fuel selector to both. It is. Fuel shut off all the way in. It is. And we're good. Alright. Before starting engine checklist is complete. Now, I'm going to actually do the thing where I do the flows instead of the checklists, and I'll use the checklist just to check and make sure that I've done the flows correctly. So, how do you start the engine? You give it, you get your throttle a quarter of an inch forward. You're going to put your mixture all the way out, like that. All right, and I'm going to take the keys, put them in there, boom, like that. Master switch on. That's not quite right. I'm sorry. I need to test the standby battery first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're green. Standby battery is armed. Did I get that right? I totally did. That's right. Okay, we're going to watch for the engine indicator systems to come online. When they do, you're going to expect to see high volts on E, some amps being discharged on S, no volts on M, and no amps being discharged on M. That's correct. Standby battery annunciators should be on. These annunciators are also correct. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and turn on master, and we should see it switch. There you go. Amps being drawn to the main battery now, and volts coming out of M, so that's correct. Master switch is looking good. We got the keys in the ignition. Because the oil temperature is super low, it's clear this thing hasn't flown in a bit, so we're going to have to prime the engine. So let's get this down to mixture lean, and fuel pump on, and rich for 1, 2, 3 seconds, off, fuel pump off. Okay, we got the window open. Is everybody in front of us? No, there's not. Let's go ahead and get one hand on the keys and one hand on the mixture, and we're going to say clear prop. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to advance the mixture. And maybe a little more throttle. There you go. And we're going to turn the starter off. And we'll back it down to 1,000 RPM. You know, I'm getting pretty good at that as long as I don't flood the engine, which is what I was doing last time. Okay, we're at 1,000 RPM, and mixture lean is required. Let me go ahead and do that. What we tend to do there is we go ahead up to 1,200 RPM, and that's also going to help get the oil temperature off the peg as well. And we're going to lean it back. You should see RPMs go up. It's still running well. I'm leaning. And RPMs drop. And when they drop, you're going to go ahead and push it just a little bit more rich. And we'll be good. And then we'll bring it on back to 1,000 RPM, and we're leaned for ground operations. That's not too hard, is it? Okay, now I'm going to use the checklist to make sure that I got everything. We opened the throttle, the mixture, we tested the standby battery, engine indicator system's good, the batteries are working, master on, make sure our beacon's on, yeah, we did the prime, prop, magnetos, mixture, throttle 1,000, oil pressure's in the green, yes it is, amps is positive, awesome. Here, low volts annunciator, check off, yes, and mixture lean is required. Okay, good, starting engine checklist is complete. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. I'm doing okay. Before taxi. All right. So again, we're going to use the checklist to make sure we did everything right. But avionics on. That's clearly the next thing that we want to do. And I want to go ahead and tune my radios. I want to get weather. What we're going to do while we do that, I'm going to go ahead and connect to Pilot Edge.
Connected to Pilot Edge.
Nice. Nice. All right, I'm going to get my scratch pad out, and let's go ahead and take a quick second to see if you can see my tablet still. Ah, you cannot. It is busted. I guess I only get to run it for a little while, you know. Strangest thing. Well, we'll bring it back to you. This is the kind of stuff that makes sim flights go a little slower than real flights sometimes. This darn iPad. All right. Well, you're not going to see it for a little while, so let me go ahead and call in, call up ATIS real quick.
Boeing Field.
100 scattered. Ceiling 3,500 overcast. Temperature 10. Dew point 7. Altimeter 2986. Arriving and departing runways 14 left, 14 right. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches between Boeing Field and Seattle International. Expect aircraft above you on final. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have formation Papa.
Papa. Papa.
Boeing King County Airport. ATIS information Papa. 1800 Zulu. Wind 180 between 170 and 230 at 7. Visibility 10. 1,900 scattered. 2,700 scattered. Ceiling 3,500 overcast. Temperature 10. Dew point 7. Altimeter 29 or 86. Arriving in...
Okay. We know it's southbound, and so what we want to do with a southbound departure is we're going to expect, if we want to fly west, we expect 14 right for the Vashon departure. So what we need to know in that case is to get our plate out. Again, sorry, can't show you the tablet. Plate out for KBFI. We're just north of A2. We're going to expect to go to A1, so it'll be a right turn, 14 right, and I want to get tower lined up as 1206, and that's tower right. We'll go back to performance mode, so things run smooth. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and dial up 1219er, which is ground here at Boeing. There you go. And we'll just switch over to COM 2. We'll quote COM 2 here in a second. And get our lights going. Taxi and nav lights are on. And we're going to go ahead and set the baro. We got our ATIS. We know it's 2986, so we'll go like this. 2986. That's not right for the field. 2988 is correct for the field, so I'm going to use the altimeter that's correct for the elevation of the field that I know. That's correct. The ATIS is wrong. Sometimes that happens. They're not very wrong, but they're a little wrong. And I'd like to be as right as I possibly can be. You don't have to do things exactly the way they tell you. You have to do things that make sense. You have to do things that are safe and make sense and are in line with your aeronautical decision making. Okay, we've got ATIS and we're ready to taxi. Let's go ahead and check our checklist and make sure we didn't miss anything before taxi. Avionics, yeah, radios. Transponder. See, this is why you do. Transponder, alt. Okay, what else? ATIS, alt, and heading. I'll go ahead and set heading for 135. That's the runway heading, magnetic heading for 14, and I'll set altitude to our intended cruise of 3,500. Will we get up there? I don't know. Standby instruments check and set. Flaps retract. Now we're going to watch. This is a tip from my check instructor. We're going to watch as the flaps go up. Watch the amps here in the bottom. That will tell us whether the alternator is working. Well, thanks a lot. That didn't tell us anything. All right. Parks, parking brakes, release, and test. So we'll do a test as we go over in taxi. All right, let me close this window. All right, let's release the brakes and get going. And as we taxi up to the line, we'll go ahead and test our brakes out. My brakes are good. You can see the little rotating Volanta thing over there by Boeing. I think if you go hit it, you get I don't know, you get a 1-up or something. All right, so we're taxied and we're sitting on the line, and COM 2's dialed in, and we know that we want the Vashon departure, and we know it's South Flow, and we know we hit Papa, so we're going to call it in. Haven't heard anything from Pilot Edge today. I wonder if anybody's on. Boeing ground Cessna November 906 Tango Alpha with Papa, Vashon departure.
November 906 Tango Alpha, Boeing ground, runway 14 right, taxi Alpha.
14 right, taxi via Alpha, 6 Tango Alpha. All right, we're set, we're ready to go. I'm gonna get my plate out. We're gonna go to Alpha 1 for 14 right, which is just over there. You can even see a 14 right line sign. Hello, hi, fuel truck. You just, well, I can't go now. You know, it doesn't really help me that you're sitting here, and you going slower doesn't do any good. And also, please put a driver in the driver's seat. All right, let's go. Sheesh. Kids today. All right, 14 right, to the left. That's clear as mud, isn't it? Now, there's a decent amount of wind today, 7 knots, 180, and I probably should have been moving my what's-its. Will face basically into the wind here. There you go. That's facing into the wind. It's about 180 at 7 knots. We'll go ahead. Get our RPM stable. We'll do a run-up. All right, before takeoff, parking brake set, passenger seat backs. Most upright, seats and seatbelts are good. Cabin doors closed and locked. Good. Looks good. Looks good. All right, we're going to do flight controls free and correct. So we're going to do the box. Full left deflection. And full elevator deflection. And then full right deflection. And then full forward deflection. Make sure those elevators are doing what we would expect them to do. Yep, they are. And then go ahead and full and center out aileron deflection and then center out the elevators. All right, we're going to go ahead and waggle it. Waggle that rudder. We're looking for that rudder to move. Yep, it's good. Flight controls are free and correct. Good. Elevator trim set for takeoff. Okay, and we're going to do electric trim. We just tested that. I'm going to go ahead and do an autopilot test, heading and autopilot, and we're going to watch and make sure that, yep, it deflects our yoke, and we can override it, and we can cancel autopilot. Autopilot test complete. And that always messes with our trim's actually not that bad. Okay. All right, what else? Fuel quantity check. Yep. And both tanks rechecked. Yes, fuel shut-up is still in. Mixture, we're going to advance to rich and run up to 1800. All right, and check left mag. Less than 100. Both. Check right mag. About 100 and less than 50 different from its neighbor. And back to both. And check all the fuel flows green, oil pressure green, oil temperature green. EGT is low, which is expected because it's rich. VAC is in the green, plus amps on the battery, so the alternator is working. And we'll go ahead and idle. And back up to 1,000. Quantity fuel selector, mixture, throttles, magnetos, engines, vacuum gauge, ammeters, annunciators. Check. Make sure no annunciators have gone off. Yep, annunciators are fine. There's an alert. It's about nav data out of date. Throttle, check idle, throttle friction lock, Nav Frequencies set. Okay, so we are going to, we're going to talk to Tower East, which is 14 right. That is not correct at all. Tower West is 14 right, 1206. That's correct. And I also want to keep them on, so I'm going to go ahead and dial in what I want next, which is Seattle departure. So let me change this real quick. KBFI, info, departure, 119.2. Yeah, we'll do 119.2. We'll dial departure once we're off the ground. We'll ask for flight following to Hoquiam, and that looks fine at the moment. I'll also go ahead and comm over to 12275, which is the practice area as we go west toward Bellingham. We'll switch off the tower. We'll switch on, so we have both comms active and running and doing something useful. All right, what else? Nav frequencies, I'm not going to use navs today. FMS GPS CDI. Okay, this one's pretty easy. Let's go to FPL. This will take just a second, but it's worth it. K. P. I said it'd take just a second, but oh my god. W. T. K. SHN, that's Shelton. Yep, Sanderson Field, that's it. And then KHQM. Not Kharkiv. This isn't DCS World. Bowerman. Booyah! And we're going to go ahead and tell it we want our little magenta line on KPWT. Boom. There you go. And it has a return to KBFI, which I don't think we want right now, so I'm going to go ahead and just clear that out. There you go. Alright, flight plan is good. Range out a little bit. Yep, that looks like where we want to go. Wonder if this thing's got weather. X-Rad. I'll keep it on, we'll see what it does. Maybe we don't get any weather. I don't know. I like topo. I don't need airways. That's cool. Okay, so that's FMS GPS CDI done, autopilot off, transponder set, yep, 1200 alt, lights as required, and brakes released before takeoff checklist is complete. Before we take the feet.
Oakland Center, good afternoon. Vision Jet 405 Juliet Hotel, IFR to Reno, please, at the Napa.
Number 405 Juliet Hotel, Oakland Center, clear to the Reno Airport as filed. Maintain flight level 230, departure frequency 132.2. and squawk 2012, hold for release.
Vision Jet 52 Hotel, cleared to Reno as filed. I maintain flight level 230, departure 322, squawk 2012, hold for release.
Number 5 Juliet Hotel, read that correct. Advise number 1 for departure, frequency change approved.
Okay, frequency change approved, we'll call you back in a minute, 5 Juliet Hotel.
Okay, RPM's up to 1,000. And let's go ahead and change off 1219. We're going to comm mic over to the tower. Boeing Tower Cessna, November 996, Tango Alpha, holding short, runway 14 right, VASH on departure.
November 996, Tango Alpha, Boeing Tower, make right down 1 departure towards Vashon Island, runway 14 right, clear for takeoff.
14 right, clear for takeoff, make right downwind towards Vashon Island 6, Tango Alpha. All right, we're good to go. So we're going to do lights, and that's landing and strobes. Camera, that's making sure our transponder is 1200 alt, and it is. Action, mixture is rich, and it is. Take that runway. All right, and we know that the Vashon departure is right downwind. The guy told us that. We're going to stay 700 feet until we're midfield past the Boeing hangars, and it's going to be left over towards the water in Vashon Island, and then we can climb as we pass the high school. So that's it. 14 right, that's what we expect. We're ready for takeoff. Let's push it. You know the magic number we're looking for is 55, and we have it. Action! Climbing for 74 knots. I'm going to crank in a little bit of left rudder there. There you go. And we're good on extended center line. Feeling pretty okay. Wind's going to push us just a touch to our left. Alright, let's keep going up. We're looking for MSL of 700. That's the altitude that we're going to go ahead and turn crosswind, and then we're going to stay 700. So this is going to be a fun little maneuver. We're going to start the turn, put positive load on it, and then push the nose down. And keep 700. There you go. And we're going to go ahead and drop the throttle. We don't need to be going like a bat out of hell here. We're looking for the heading bug to go to the reciprocal of the runway heading. It's just about to get there. We'll even it out. And you know, that wasn't too terribly bad. I'll go ahead and click in a few clicks of trim on the stick here. Oh my back is killing me. All right. And there's midfield, the Boeing hangars. We can go ahead and take that left turn. And we're doing pretty good on altitude control here. We haven't let ourselves slip up too hard. We are going to want to grab a little bit of sky here because we're not going to be able to see Vashon very well, and we need to climb just above this land. So there's that north tip of Vashon. You can just barely see it out in the fog there. Okay, there's 800. We're going to hold this until we're close to the high school. Oh. I'm just doing something, trying to do something better for my back. Sorry you have to see this. Pilots, you know. I present to you pilots squirming in seat. All right, there's the high school, so up we go. We'll take it up to 1100. Ooh, precipitation. Go ahead and hit that heading bug real quick. Nasty. And let's check en route climb there. Airspeed 70 to 85.
Alaska 456 coming up on spot 10 with information Romeo.
Throttle full, rich as required.
456 Seattle ground, runway 16 left, taxi via Bravo Charlie.
Bravo Charlie 16 left.
Fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, EGT, vac are good. Plenty of fuel. Bring back that RPM a little bit. We don't want to be cruising too fast. And all right, as we go halfway over, we're going to go ahead and climb up to 1,500. Full throttle. This is technically VFR, but nasty. And we're just exiting KBFI's Class Delta airspace now. We can go ahead and switch over to practice area 12275. Still climbing, doing okay. 1,500 is in sight. put that nose on down. Go ahead and hit Alt, and autopilot. Alt 1471. Auto has got it. Go ahead and bring that throttle back to 2400. Woo-wee. Nice day, huh? Ugh. All right, so we're crossing Vashon and we're headed toward Bremerton. Let me go ahead and just pop this up. We can take a look. So KPWT's there on the left edge, and we're headed toward it. I know that because I can see KPWT in the direct 2 up in the Garmin here, so that's good. 11 nautical miles. And I'm going to go ahead and I think we can climb higher. I'm going to go ahead and climb to 2,500. Go ahead and do that now. Alt, boom, VS, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. West Practice Area, Cessna, November 996, Tango Alpha, just crossing the west shoreline past the north tip of Vashon. Headed west, climbing 2,500 feet, West Practice Area. Kind of a sloppy radio call, but that's okay. So we're going to keep climbing here, and we're looking to make sure that we don't get up into any clouds. I'm kind of looking up there, and I'm like, how high do I think they are? It's a little hard to tell. We'll try for 2,500. If that feels okay, we'll actually push a little bit further until we don't like what we see, because I want to get up and cruise about 3,000. That, to me, that feels fairly safe. And we're going to check weather as we go. I'm also going to go ahead and call approach and get flight following to Hoquiam. So, oops, no. Oh, God. Charles, what are you doing? Com 2 and switch. And Com 2 mic. And here we are at 2,500 and not feeling too bad. Not feeling terrible about this. And it's pretty flat all the way, so 3,000 should be a pretty good cruising altitude for us. I'm going to go ahead and punch it up a little bit higher to 2,000 to 3,000. And VS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And I'll go ahead and call Seattle departure. Seattle departure, Skyhawk, November 996, Tango Alpha, 10 miles east of Bremerton, climbing to 3,000 feet.
November 996, Tango Alpha, Seattle approach, say request.
I'd like VFR flight following to Hoquiam.
November 6, Tango Alpha, squawk 1564, say the code for your destination.
Say again, code for 6 Tango Alpha.
1564, 1564.
1564 for 6 Tango Alpha.
Alaska 456, contact departure.
Left 456. Departure left 456, 3,000, climbing 9,000.
5, 6, 4. And we're going to go ahead and pull that throttle back because we're at 3,000, and we're about to hit.
Seattle departure radar contact, climb and maintain 15,000.
15,000, last 456.
We're going to have to pull back down.
Number 405, Juliet Hotel, Seattle, correction, Oakland Center, ident. Number 405, Juliet Hotel, radar contact 2 miles north of the Skag Bound VOR.
We'll come back down to 2,500.
November 996, Tango Alpha, radar contact 15 miles west of the Seattle VOR, the Seattle altimeter 2985.
6 Tango Alpha. 2985. All right, we're going to go ahead and set our altitude hold to 2420. And we'll go ahead and get back on heading. You saw that we were just about to bust a cloud, so we don't do that. And 2985. We'll go ahead and set that barrow. That was very kind of them to call that for us. And we're still too high. Get down to 2,000 here.
Oscar 456, turn left heading 060, proceed direct normie.
And that was a
060, direct army, left.
big old crash dive. All right, we'll keep going. If conditions degrade, we will divert. And what are our options? We've got KPWT here just off of our 2 o'clock. You can see that over there, I believe. Coming up, we'll have Shelton next. So that's a possibility. We're pretty low. I don't particularly like this, but for the purposes of the simulation, we will continue.
456, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
266, last 456.
Oscar 456, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
All right, so I want to get back on. Magenta line to Shelton. So I'm going to go ahead and tune heading bug a little bit off to the right, and then we'll go ahead and get back on Shelton. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this up. Get on this line, then I'll call it direct to Shelton. 2,000. Is that a great altitude for this? No, not at all. Let's go ahead and call Shelton weather while we're thinking about it. Let's see what's up ahead of us. Maps, Shelton, Sanderson Fields, info 119.27 at 119.275. We're right up against these clouds. This is not good.
Sanderson FLD weather. Wind shear alert. Wind 250 at 11 gust 24.
Uh-oh.
Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2,600 few. Temperature 10. Dew point 5.
Oh, I just flew into IMC. All right, standard rate turn. Head back the way you came. All right, no, we're good.
Sanderson FLD weather. Wind shear alert.
All right, we're going to keep it at
Wind
1,800.
250 at 11 gust 24. Visibility more than 10.
I'm going to heading bug
Sky conditions
right here. I'm going to alt right here.
Temperature 10.
And I'm going to autopilot right here and back up to 2,400.
2984.
We got wind shear at Sanderson Field. Let's listen again.
Sanderson FLD weather. Wind shear alert. Wind 250 at 11 gust 24. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2,600 few.
Well, good grief. Wind shear. Okay, let's learn a little bit more about Hoquiam. Let's listen to Hoquiam's weather, 135775. We cannot hear Hoquiam yet, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it tuned in until we do. All right, you can see here we're about to cross the expected, or the pre-planned magenta line to Sanderson Field. So I'll go ahead and hit FPL, FMS, we'll select Shelton,
Alaska 456,
direct,
Seattle Center 125.1.
To K Shelton, 18 miles. And I'll go ahead and hit nav mode. And that'll get us right on magenta line for Shelton. So off we go.
Alaska 456, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 370.
370. That's a flight level for you. Wouldn't that be something to fly in this thing? Oh wait, you can't. All right, we're heading for Sanderson. And we still got our comm on to listen for Hoquiam weather as soon as it shows up, but we're just not close enough, I don't think. You know, you have to ask yourself, was it a great day to fly around here? Probably not. We've got precipitation, which you saw. We've got low clouds, which you see. And we've got wind shear. So that would suggest that, you know, we've got some level of unstable air, some vertical development. And we also know that within the next, let's call it 4 hours, it's going to get pretty nasty. Right? What else do we know about that? We know that they predicted possible thunderstorms on the coast. Is it possible that they got here a little bit early? Yeah, it is. That's exactly what I think is happening. So, you know, that's something. Now that said, kind of looks like maybe the sky is a little clearer out here. Could be my imagination. We know with extensive vertical development that there tends to be clearer air but a bumpier ride, so it's very possible that the stratus that we're sort of leaving behind is going to be replaced by puffier cumulus, maybe a little bit of breaks here and there. So we might get better visibility. Does that mean it's safe?
Weather.
Ah.
Wind 270 at 14, gust 22. Visibility more than 10.
Oh.
Sky conditions 2,800 few, 4,800 scattered, 6,800 scattered.
Ah.
Temperature 11, dew point 4. Altimeter 2992.
Okay. Couple of things. It's still gusting out there. And you notice that the cloud decks are better. So it's few and scattered. It's not overcast, it's not broken. So as we go west, it's getting quote-unquote nicer, at least from a SIG's perspective. From a wind perspective, it's getting crummy. So we probably have weather that's coming in. Conditions are degrading. How fast are they degrading? How bad is this going to get? I don't know. Now what else did we hear? We heard 270 and gusts. So what's that going to mean for our ability to land? Well, certainly we're going to want to land head to wind. If we can land to the west, we should. But if the runway isn't aligned that way, then we got a crosswind problem. How big of a crosswind problem? Let's check that out. I've been rebooting my tablet as I've been going to see if maybe I can reconnect to the thingamajig, so I can show you. You know what I'm trying to say. All right. Well, so far, no. So radar is picking up more precipitation over Hoquiam now. You can definitely see us bumping around a little bit more, but you can also see that the sky is better. It certainly doesn't feel as oppressive down on us, right? We're still at 1,800 feet, which isn't great. If we were to fall out of the sky right now, if the engine was to quit, there aren't a whole lot of great places that we can land. It's mostly hilly. There's a lot of water. There's some flat land that's coming up ahead of us here. None of it's fantastically good. We are it's still 10 miles from Shelton, and if we're at 1,800 and the ground is 500, we're going to fall 1,300. We have 1,300 feet to glide at a 9-to-1 ratio. That's, let's just call it, I don't know, 13,000 feet. And what is that? About 2.5 miles, maybe 2 miles. So we got 2 miles to pick out a landing site and put it down safely. It's not safe. This is not great at all. So what do we think about the clouds? Have we got room to climb? I'm not convinced of that. I certainly don't think so. Recognizing I haven't heard from Seattle departure in a while. I'm still on 119.2 and I have COM2 lit. If they had something to say to me, they would. Okay, let's look around. Hey, that's looking kind of like the sky's clear, isn't it? What do you think? You want to head up there? You want to give it a try? I think we should. So, let's see. We'll go ahead and set altitude for 3,000, which is kind of where we wanted to be to begin with. Oh boy, it is getting bumpy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up we go. Go ahead and push that throttle. And see if maybe things get a little less bumpy when we're up a bit. Outside air temperature 7 Celsius, and so we got no problem with freezing yet. Okay, going up. 2,200 and still climbing. Speed's good. I'll go ahead and take a bigger bite here. 2 more clicks on nose up. Try to maintain 900 feet per minute climb. All right. Through 2,300 for 3,000.
Denver Center, good afternoon. Challenger 65 Tango Sierra is calling on the ground at Scottsbluff. We're going to pick up our IFR to Las Vegas.
Denver 65 Tango Sierra, Denver Center, clear to the Las Vegas airport, as filed. Maintain 8,000. Expect
bumpy
level
today.
360, 10 minutes after your departure. Departure frequency 120.47 and squawk 2545. Hold for release.
Alright, Challenger 65 Tango Sierra is cleared to Las Vegas as filed. Maintain 8,000. Expect 360, 10 minutes after. 120.47, 2545.
November 65 Tango Sierra, read back correct. Hold for release. Advise number 1 for departure. Frequency change approved.
Alright, we'll call you in a little bit. 65 Tango Sierra.
Okay. We're established 3,000. We got clouds that are right sort of co-angels with us, so we probably can't safely climb any higher. Let's get this RPM down to 2,400 and we will keep moving. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a mess. Okay. This is not a fun day if we were actually up flying for real. I mean, sure, you know, the worst day flying beats the best day at work, but when it's turbulent like this, it's kind of a toss-up. Okay, trying to connect this tablet for y'all. This is the worst. Just absolutely the worst. I mean, you can hear that air really working the throttle. We're only making 97 knots over the ground. There is definitely a headwind, just like we expected there would be. Okay, well, let me describe what I can see. All right, as we approach Shelton, let's talk about the configuration at Bowerman, which is Hoquiam. Okay, runways are 06
Juliet Hotel cross 30
and
miles
24.
southwest of the Mustang VOR at 16,000. The Reno altimeter 29902.
This is fine.
That's correct.
Everything's fine. Would you fly in this? No. I'm a fair weather pilot. What can I say? Alright, now we're 2 miles from Shelton. Should be right down below us. I'm going to just cheat here. There it is, right down below us. Basically right through the firewall is where it is. .5 miles. Once we overfly Shelton, we'll go ahead and point for Hoquiam. Okay, fun question. Can anybody remember when we left?
November 6 Tango Alpha, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Seattle Center 126.6 for 6 Tango Alpha. 26.6. I should write that down. Seattle Center Skyhawk, November 996, Tango Alpha, just over Shelton Airfield, altitude 3,000 with you.
November 996 Tango Alpha, Seattle Center, the Hoquiam altimeter 2995.
6 Tango Alpha. 2995. I will just go on record telling you right now, if this was for real, this would be an awful flight. You would feel like crap. And yeah, you can fly in this. Why would you want to? Can you believe we've got 21 minutes left of this? Now let's call up and get that weather again at Hoquiam. Let's see if things have changed at all.
Oakland, Vision Jet 52 Hotel, can we put a approach request in with you, or would you like us to wait?
Was that Vision Jet or Fish and Chips?
Hotel, if it's... Sure, where do you want to start your approach?
52 Hotel, if it's possible to shoot the RNAV Yankee 34 right, starting at Squaw Valley, we'd appreciate it.
Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2,800 view. 4,800 scattered.
Number 405 Juliet Hotel, clear at Squaw Valley, cross Squaw Valley at or above 1,000, cleared the RNAV Yankee runway 34 right approach.
50 Hotel, clear direct Squaw Valley, cross Squaw Valley at 1,000.
Okay.
Cleared RNAV Yankee 34 right. Thank you, 50 Hotel.
5 Juliet Hotel, sorry, I'm in the altitude, cross Squaw Valley at 12,000.
12,000 at Squaw Valley for 50 Hotel.
Alright, we got a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and lean my engine out. Not that I expect that to help with anything, but it's the right thing to do at 3,000 feet. So we're going to use the lean helper. And, you know, keep eyes outside. We're about to be under a cloud. Under is fine. Leaning, 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 leaning. And that's peak. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and push it rich peak a little bit. Fuel flow 7.8. Alright, we're leaned out. Making 97 knots. Over the ground, 19 minutes to Hoquiam. Okay, so let's talk about what we know about Hoquiam. Hoquiam has one runway, it's 06 and 24. Wind is 270, and we'll verify that one more time.
Bowerman weather. Wind 270 at 14 gust 22. Visible.
There you go. 270. at 1-4, gust 2-2. So there's 30 degrees difference from our landing heading and where the wind's coming from. It's going to come because we're going to land 240. There's no alternative. Wind's going to be coming right to left. We're going to be pushed south toward the water. So we can use that as a decent reference point. What we need to know is what's the crosswind component and is it over max demonstrated. We need to know for the steady wind and we need to know for the gusts. Very, very important that we do that. So I'm sorry I can't show you the tablet. I'm opening my digital E6B and I'm going over to weather, crosswind, headwind, and tailwind. So wind direction 270, wind speed 14, runway number 24. Okay, the steady wind of 1-4 at 270 cross, because that's a 30 degree crosswind. The crosswind component, right crosswind, 7 knots. So we are halfway to our max demonstrated already. Now I'm going to go ahead and change it to the gust amount of 2-2. Right crosswind component at 2-2 is 11 knots. Again, max demonstrated in the 172 is 14. That is the best they have been able to do. Like really good pilots. Am I that good? I don't think so. However, we're in the sim. We have a chance to learn. We have a chance to grow. And we get to do it all without being in turbulence, without being in real turbulence this bad that makes you want to throw up all over the place. Like, this is a great learning opportunity in sucky virtual weather. We have an absolute beast of a crosswind that we've got to hit to get into Hoquiam. I'm not going to say no to this opportunity. Let's give it a shot. God, how happy am I to not be up in this right now? Whew. Okay, what do we need to know about 2-4? It's left traffic. Oh my goodness, there's precipitation just east of Bowerman Field right now. So as we come down, we're going to get rained on. Like, big time. What else do we need to know? Elevation is 18 feet. So pattern is 1,000. So as we get close, we'll get down to 1,000. I want to get down to 1,000, probably about 10 miles out. It is untowered. It is untowered. So we're going to just use the CTAF and call it in as we go. So far, our VFR flight following hasn't called out any traffic. We're alone. That's maybe one good thing about the situation. There aren't too many other good things about the situation, unfortunately. The weather's pretty crummy. The conditions are pretty crummy. The radar is, continuing to show precipitation in the area. We know conditions are degrading. We know the winds are increasing. It's great that there aren't a whole lot of clouds. That's just lovely. And we also know that when we turn around and head home, we're going to get one heck of a tailwind. That's going to get us home fast, and that's a good thing. If we can land at Hoquiam with the weather coming at us from the ocean, from the west, at least we know we're going to be racing that back home and getting ahead of it. The question is whether we should turn around now. In the real world, I wouldn't even be out here. But it's a sim. I want the experience. Let's try to land this thing. I forgot my cruise checklist. Power 21 to 2700 RPM. Trim is required. Mixture lean is required. Did all that stuff. Phew, I didn't miss any steps. What's that coming off my wings? Contrails? I don't know. 22 miles to Hoquiam. At about 15, I'll call Seattle Center and let them know that I've got the weather. And we'll switch over to VFR, call the CTAF. So let's go ahead and get that stuff loaded in real quick. We know weather is 135775, and then
weather.
Bowerman CTAF.
70 at 14 gust 22, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2,800 view,
227.
4,800 scattered, 6,800 scattered, temperature 2.4.
Change to 122.7 and listen to that. That's Hoquiam CTAF. I guess, yeah. 128. Oh, hell no. What did I just do? Oh, 1266. Oh, that's good. That's still Seattle Center. It's getting more visible. There's fewer clouds, the decks are raising, visibility is increasing now. I can see probably 10 miles or more. So that's all consistent with a change from very steady, boring, stable, smooth ride stratus air further inland toward vertical development, clear air, but bumpy ride, unstable air as this front comes in. Maybe it's a front, maybe it's a trough, but it's what's going to bring the thunderstorms and the really heavy rain and the winds that are going to be hitting the area here in the next 4 hours. I mean, it really gives you an appreciation for all the different kinds of conditions you're going to be flying in. It's absolutely wild. You pay attention in a way that normally you don't have to. How's the machine? Fuel, oil's good, EGT is stable, VAC is good, plenty of fuel. Fuel flow 7.8. Okay, we're halfway between Shelton and Hoquiam now.
Juliet Hotel, contact NorCal approach 119.2.
Let's check
19-2,
nearest.
Roger Hotel.
WN 65. Hard surface 1810. 4W8. What's that? 2260 feet if we needed it.
405 Juliet Hotel, NorCal approach. The Reno altimeter is 2992.
We could land on that if we had to. Okay, Hoquiam, 5,000 feet, 624. AWAS, we got it. CTAF, we're on it. 5,000 feet, 06 and 24. Ten minutes. What do you think about the turbulence? You think it's getting worse? I don't think it's getting any better. My wing's still doing that funky thing. Nope. That's cool. Somewhere out there was the SATSIP power plant. I think I missed it. Yeah, I think it's back behind me a little bit. Let's go see. Oh, wait, no. There they are. There they are. Hang on. Let me zoom in. You can just see the power plant. You can see the cooling towers right over there. Let me see. Let's look out the window and see if we can see them. Nice. We weren't really following the SATSIP River, and so we would have been a lot further south if we had. So as we close in now, we're 12 miles. I told them I would call in and say we get the weather for Hoquiam. I don't want to be a liar, so let's check and make sure the weather's still good.
Bowerman weather. Wind 270 at 14, gust 22, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2,800 few, 4,800 scattered, 6,800 scattered, temperature 11, dew point 4. Altimeter 2992.
That's the weather, all right. All right. Seattle Center, Skyhawk 996, Tango Alpha. We've got the weather at Hoquiam.
I'm sorry, that was 201.
Seattle Center, Skyhawk 996, Tango Alpha's got the weather at Hoquiam.
Roger. Roger.
Seattle Center 996, Tango Alpha, can't hear you too good. I'm going to go ahead and request cancel flight following. I'll squawk VFR and he can see what we're doing.
Number 6 Tango Alpha, radar services terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change approved.
Squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Thanks for your help, 6 Tango Alpha. All right, best we can do. We're on our own now. Change COM 1 mic, 122700. 10 miles. Let's go look for it. Where is it? Where's Hoquiam? I can see it. I can see the beacon right there. Plus I can see the airfield itself. Let's rock and roll. Hoquiam traffic, Cessna 996, Tango Alpha is 10 miles west, maneuvering to fly straight in, runway 24 full stop, Hoquiam traffic. Okay, let's go. Descent, power is required, mixture is required, ATIS AWAS received, altimeter set, CDI review and brief, fuel selector both, flaps is required. Alright, let's go. Go ahead and go mixture full rich. And start our turn. Duck those throttles, nose down. Eight miles. Got the beacon. I can't go too much further left. I have to cut around the mountain either to the left or to the right, and I actually want to keep my eyes on. I want to keep my eyes on the field, so I'm going to go ahead and stay offset just a little bit. We're doing 2-1, so we got a fairly significant crosswind that's going to be shoving us, because the wind's coming basically off our 45. It's going to be shoving us to the south. Right into the mountain here. 1,800 feet, we're 800 feet above pattern. Let's do our before landing checklist while we have a second here. Tanks both. Fuel shutoff is in. Mixture is rich. Keys are on both. Master is on. Lights are as required. Seats and seatbelts fastened. Autopilot is off. Fuel plenty. Before landing checklist complete. Still got the beacon at Hoquiam but no airfield. 1,400. Got power lines up ahead here, so we'll go ahead and shallow out our descent a little bit before we cross over those power lines. And you can see we're off the magenta line there, so we're getting shoved south like I was talking about, but that's going to help us actually get on could help us get on course. We're doing 2-1, so runway heading is actually about 20 degrees off to our right, and we still need to go south, so I'm going to go ahead and maneuver. I'm going to move her a little bit more south until we're lined up on 2-4. We're now 1300, so we're 200 above pattern. Six miles. All right, we're turning for Hoquiam. Why am I having such a problem seeing the airfield? Because I seriously am. I'm going to go ahead and overfly it and then get into left traffic. I'll overfly at 1500. What am I even looking at? How far am I from this airport? I'm 3 miles out. I should see a strip. It's not on the little island. It's past the little island, so it must be here. It must be up here. We're south. I got it. I got the threshold. I got it right there. All right. One notch of flaps. Let's get lined up. We're still 200 feet above pattern. We'll bring it on down. This is not Charles's finest hour, but he's going to make it work. Yeah, there it all is. He was in a rain shadow, or some kind of shadow, cloud shadow. I couldn't see it. I can see the front half of it now. I can see the approach end of the runway. Yeah, that's safe. Hoquiam traffic, Skyhawk 996, Tango Alpha on 3 mile final, runway 24 full stop, Hoquiam. Okay, I got the Pappy in sight. Looks like we're 1 red over 3 white, so we're high. Go ahead and bring that throttle back. Get into the white arc. There's flaps 2. Flaps 3. And we're going to want to throttle up, and we're going to want our speed to be a little higher because we have a gust factor. So the gust factor is 14 to 22 is the gust factor of 7, which we want half of that, so we want 4 knots extra speed. So let's call it 69 is our target speed. Okay, we're high. Throttle down, point our nose. I'm going to ease out the rudder just a little bit. I'm crabbing too much. Speed's too high. Throttle down some more. Okay, we're going to catch it. Okay, we're carrying too much energy. We're going too fast. Too high. Okay, we got 1 red, 2 red. We're bubbling, but we'll be all right. We're actually good for speed. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let the crab go over the threshold. Idle. Crab off. And aileron a little bit to the right there. Counteract the crosswind. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's nice down here. And into the wind. And aileron the other way to counteract the crosswind. And let's cross here. Hoquiam traffic, Cessna 906, Tango Alpha is clear, runway 24, Hoquiam. Oh, take a second, man. Take a second. Take a breath. Flaps up. 1, 2, 3. Mixture lean for the ground. A little bit there. Lights is required. Landing and strobes are off. Trim set for takeoff. Oh boy. Let's see. Airports. Where's Hoquiam? Looks like parking is just going to be behind me here, so I can park at one of these rustic cabins. Look at the blue sky. Unbelievable. Now it's just such a nice day. Yeah, right. Okay, watching. Don't chop any other planes up. Don't hit them with your wings. Don't do nothing. Don't destroy the nice lady's house. Take your place among the big boys. Alright, shut down. Avionics master switch off. Electrical equipment off except beacon. Throttle to idle. Mixture to idle cutoff. Magneto's off. Master switch off. Pull that. Standby battery off. Oh, wow. Control lock install. Fuel selector valve left and right. Control lock. Fuel selector valve left. Oh, man alive. Not gonna lie, proud of that crosswind. That landing was not the worst, and that was that was an 11-knot crosswind component if it was gusting. It was a 7-knot crosswind component if it was steady. I didn't feel too many gusts. There wasn't really low-level wind shear to contend with, but ultimately it was not a walk in the park. And if you consider all the other factors, the low clouds on our way out, and the turbulence that we had, and all that, it was not a great day to fly in the real world. But despite all that, I had an absolute blast flying the sim, and I'm so glad that I did it. Getting crosswind experience, even in the sim, is great. I intend to go out to Hoquiam for real, and that whole contending with I can't see the runway where actually is it. I should have been using more pilotage. I should have been looking at the configuration of the little island, what's ahead of the island, what's behind the island. But at the end, I did figure out where I was supposed to go. I did figure out something was wrong. I did find the airport. I did land in a crosswind. So proud of the achievements today. Definitely feeling a little stressed from that landing. Can you imagine what it would be like for real? Here's hoping that my real experience in Hoquiam, we have clear skies, light winds, and no bumps. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciated flying with you, and we'll see you next time.